Hi, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Black Rims. I'm Mars Girl.
I'm Josh Knight the First.
Can you tell that we're live?
Well, the people listening to this on YouTube won't be able to tell this is live.
No. I'm recording this for posterity's sake. The video footage, too.
Okay. Oh, well, then they'll actually get a live show.
Well, you know what? It won't be live.
Yeah, it's recorded, so...
There's video is what I'm saying.
There's going to be video this time.
There's video this time.
So that makes it a little better.
It's episode 10, that's why it's special.
Yay! We've actually managed to keep this up for 10 episodes. For me, that's a little hard to believe.
Well, relatively regularly, too, and you with your dumb schedule.
Well, yeah, but we've been able to pump one out for the last 10 weeks straight.
Not to mention the betas, the alpha.
Yeah, so pretty much since we got back from MagFest, more or less, not too long after.
I don't know about MagFest. That's a little early, but you know what? I can't count. I'm just gonna say I went to public school, and I can't count.
Yeah, you went to public school in Texas. And I'm sorry.
I'm still remedial in math as far as that's concerned.
You and me both. I stayed away from math courses like the plague.
So, yeah, we're gonna talk about stuff. Let's talk about the stuff we're gonna talk about.
Alright, on tonight's show.
So later on I'm gonna be talking about the heartbreaking news that is Disney closing down the Lucasfilm video game branch known as LucasArts.
I'm gonna be talking about all the planning and current news and a little bit of speculation about Doctor Who's 50th anniversary. And
together we're going to be discussing some interesting April Fool's jokes that have been culminated over this past week. So,
And for those of you watching and wondering, there'll be a little bit of a guest appearance by Kaylin's cat here, Siren.
Yeah, so you can tell when something is live, because then stuff like this happens.
There's a cat.
So before we get into these news stories here, there's the cat's butt. Before we get into the news stories, I do want to tackle a couple of follow-up stories from this previous week. Mine in particular, we were talking about the restructure of Square Enix a little bit before. Specifically that the director of Japan was stepping down from his position. Well, now there's a whole bunch of layoffs. And they're starting in North America, and they're even, eliminating North America's CEO. They're eliminating some people in... Which departments did I say? The, financing? Public relations.
Head of marketing.
Head of marketing, that was it. A pretty fair hunk of the core people that make Square Enix business happen. And then there's going to be further layoffs, both in Japan and Australia, right? They did say Australia.
Yes. Just everybody all over the board doesn't have job security anymore there at Square Enix.
So you know how I was speculating last week that this means one of two things? It either means really positive things for the company, or it's all over.
This is kind of looking like all over for some people.
The Square-pocalypse.
Yes, the Square-pocalypse.
I am really not so sure anymore. I really don't know, unless they are scrapping all these people to make this a far better company overall by bringing in people who are like, we've been fans from the beginning, we know how to save you.
Yeah, that would be nice, but at the same time, it's like, they're laying off all these people in marketing and public relations. Well, let's think about it. Why would they fire those people in specifically? Is it because we need the money, or, hey, public relations person, you gave us bad information from the public.
You make us look bad, you're fired.
Exactly.
But at the same time, those aren't the people that make the games, and the games are really what sells it, right? So, it's like, well, does that really help them all that much in the grand scheme of things?
Really, only time will tell on that, because for right now, it just looks like, hey, a bunch of people lost their jobs.
That's what it looks like to me, and more are coming, and I don't know what departments those people are coming from in Japan and Australia, so I'm terrified for Square Enix right now, to be honest with you.
No, I understand. That is understandable, seeing how much time and money you've invested into this company in specific.
For now, I'll limit it to those speculations, because I just plain don't know what to think about it. As for you, I guess you had a little bit of a follow-up.
Well, just a tiny bit. There has been hearsay, one way or the other, that the news about Power Rider Apollo was actually a hoax. I'd like to point out to people that it wasn't April 1st when that news got put up.
So it wasn't, at the very least, an April Fool's joke.
Now, was it a hoax? Was it not a hoax? I have not heard full confirmation one way or the other.
Well, think about it this way. American children's television, would they really have a character with terminal cancer?
I don't know. Honestly, I can't say for certain.
I have pretty severe doubts. I say, from this point forward, let's try and state where our sources are coming from, just to at least clarify. Now, we don't know, or we do know solidly from such source. I think that would just be our best option.
Of course that would be the best option. Either way, I am still as skeptical as I was last week, if not more so. Because of the fact that I'm still brushing up on the... I keep having to do rewrites on the script for the Foze movie rundown, because every time I go over it, I literally find something else wrong with it that we didn't even catch the first run through.
Oh, why do you even rewatch it? Well, I guess because you gotta review it.
Well, yeah, if I'm going to talk about it, I need to know what I'm talking about.
Which is why everyone always said to me, why are you even playing Final Fantasy 13 when you know you hate it? Well, because if I didn't play it, then people would be like, oh, you didn't play it, so you're just hating to hate.
Yeah, I'm not hating to hate. I'm hating with purpose because I did my homework.
Alright. With that, should we go ahead and just go straight into news?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start with your topic.
Okay, so this is yesterday, April 2nd it was, or no, April 3rd was yesterday. Was it yesterday that the news broke? And it broke through just about every source possible that you can possibly imagine.
If you were a gamer, you heard about this.
Like right now, we're specifically looking at a joystick.com article regarding LucasArts just going down. Disney was like, you know what? We got Lucasfilm, and we make video games, and if we want to make a Star Wars game, then we'll just do that when we feel like, and we don't want to waste our time on bad Star Wars games. We just want to spend time on the good ones, so bye, LucasArts.
Yep. And yeah, LucasArts got the axe.
So it's kind of bittersweet, because as of late, it was just games that weren't getting published, that they kept announcing.
Well, like 3 games in specific got knocked off right off the bat, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was like, what was it, 1313? What was one of the other 2 ones?
I'm sure that article lists them, but specifically 1313 was one that I remember.
That was the one I heard the most about.
Past that, though, like, LucasArts was publishing Star Wars games, but they weren't necessarily the ones hardcore producing them anymore. BioWare had their hands all up in the Old Republic series. Yeah. And the Old Republic series is phenomenal. But
it's alright. It's not my flavor.
You haven't played them.
Well, it just doesn't look like something I would play. Like, the reason I would take the bitter part of Bittersweet on this is I remember playing stuff like Battlefront and Rogue Squadron back in the day, and I loved those games.
Oh, yeah. We were having a conversation earlier about the Super Star Wars games for the Super Nintendo. Oh, yeah.
I remember in specific, I had a cousin who had just about every Super Nintendo game you could ask for. Like, his mom, loved him that much. But he brought me over one day, and he had Super Return of the Jedi on. And that first stage with the speeder, like, he did it like it was nobody's business.
I had problems with that exact same level.
And he's like, here, hold on to this, I gotta go do chores. And I was there for like 45 minutes, and I couldn't clear that level.
Well, but if you did manage to clear it, then suddenly you're Luke, MF, and Skywalker, right. Okay? And everything is like...
Yeah, you turn into Samus, pretty much. So yeah, Super Star Wars, right?
So yeah, hopping around and all sorts of crazy junk is going on and flashing all up in your face.
And that was LucasArts, and that, to me, even though it was hard, I still wanted to beat that hard.
Well, not everything LucasArts was Star Wars, In fact, one of my best memories was actually with the game Loom. My dad purchased the game Loom, and my dad was a gamer before me. I love my dad for it, because he introduced me to gaming. And, it's just, they did great point-and-click adventures, as was evidenced with not only Loom, but other games like, original Monkey Islands and Sam and Max's. And,
Sam and Max. Love
yeah,
Sam
but
and Max.
these things went off to, remakes under Telltale Games, so they still live on in spirit, though some jokes that the original LucasArts games created didn't carry over into these re-releases, which is a little bit of a shame. But Loom, oh man, my dad had this amazing Loom box, just filled with stuff and music on audio cassette tape, and this really big book of spells. It's just a really unique game, and if you write down the spells when you go and you play through it the first time, and then you want to play it again, you can't use those same spells the second time. You have to write down a new set of spells. So every single playthrough, it's not like you can just be like, oh, I'll just use my old codes. No, it doesn't work like that. It was really, really clever. In fact, I want to go through and play through it again after all this.
I remember another thing in I think it was 6th grade. I had a science teacher who knew that I got done with assignments pretty quick, and he had Rebel Assault installed on his school computer that you're only supposed to use for school business. It's like, well, you were done early. Yeah, go ahead. And I'd be going on TIE bomber missions while everybody else was like, I freaking hate Josh. You got done with everything early.
But, this is a sad world we live in now, where, I know, like I said, it's bittersweet that we don't have LucasArts because they weren't exactly doing all that well for themselves anymore.
Right.
But at the same time, we're in a world without LucasArts.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. It really is. Because there goes a huge chunk of my past.
Yeah.
Evaporated, and hopefully what that means is that the only games that'll get released under the Disney umbrella that are also Star Wars are ones that have been carefully thought through and not Star Wars Connect.
Yeah, you say that, but at the same time, you know there will be a prerequisite tie-in movie game when Episode 7 comes out.
Well, there always has been. There was when episodes 1 through 3 came out. I specifically remember PlayStation games. Well, I remember specifically...
PlayStation and PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I specifically remember one for episode 1, and it was sad. I didn't want to finish it. I rented it.
Now, you're not talking about the Pod Racer game, right?
No, I'm talking about Star Wars Episode 1 for PlayStation.
Okay.
People are bringing up, like, the Lego series.
I actually really like the Lego games.
Now, again...
Like, just in general.
Yeah, so that can be attributed to more than just LucasArts, because they all carry the same sort of mechanics and the same sort of charm. It's just they obtain the proper license from these different companies to be able to produce them.
It's the same reason why you can have Lego DC superheroes, and now we're going to have a Lego Marvel Heroes game coming out pretty soon, too.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Stuff like that doesn't get lost. There'll probably be a Episode 7 Lego game.
You think?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well,
they're making Lego everything now.
And isn't that awesome?
Yes and no. Because, to me, it's one of those things, you think of that as a kid, oh, wouldn't it be cool if they made Lego this and that and the other? You thought that, I guess for us kids in the 90s, you would think that, but you didn't think it would actually happen.
Yeah.
And now we live in an age where, we can walk down the toy aisle at Toys R Us or Target or Walmart, and you see right next to each other Lego Batman, Lego The Hobbit, Lego Lord of the Rings. You got Helm's Deep right there. And then it's like, that's awesome! But there's some sort of a charm that gets lost when either you realize, I can't wrap my head around the fact that I'm actually seeing this product, and two, I've got other things to worry about. I can't afford to play with Helm's Deep.
Cause, these are expensive play sets, and, adults grow into their love of Lego, too, from little kids, and do you give this little kid Lego Millennium Falcon? Do you give a little kid Lego Millennium Falcon?
Well, I don't know, like, if you were that kid, like nowadays, if you were 6-year-old Kalen and somebody tried to give you Lego Millennium Falcon, would you be okay with that?
I would have been because I loved Star Wars so much, but like at the same time, little kids are going to lose pieces and eat them and stick them up their nose.
Yeah.
So then the parent, and if you're a parent that also loves Star Wars, you're sitting there sobbing.
Yes, that is true.
And not for your child.
No, you're sobbing for that Millennium Falcon that's like, no! Baby honey, don't stick Chewie up your nose. No.
This isn't really about LucasArts anymore.
No, well, getting back to LucasArts. So now, LucasArts is gone, and it's like, well, does Disney have a plan right now for another game that is based in the Star Wars universe? There's got to be something to take the place.
Think about what we've been saying about Disney and Lucasfilm the last couple of times we've had anything to say about Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Disney has had a plan and have been amazingly hush-hush about all kinds of, like, there was no news that this was coming. It's just like, oh, do you guys like LucasArts? It's gone.
Yeah, you're right, there was no warning.
I don't know whether or not internally the people who were part of LucasArts were like, hey, by the way, guys, in a couple of weeks, we just want to let you know you probably want to find jobs. And if they did say that, nobody told anybody anything.
Well, because I'm saying I haven't read on any news sources that stuff was going on, that they were thinking of doing it, that I haven't read any reports like, oh, LucasArts is doing this kind of business or that kind of business right now. No, it's just, poof, gone.
Well, it's LucasArts, poof, gone. It's new Star Wars trilogy, poof, we've been working on it already. Old actors, poof, yeah, we're all here. Like, it's just Disney magic.
It's not even Disney you call it Disney magic, but
it's Disney money.
Yeah, it's the giraffe money.
Okay, it's the giraffe money.
Not only that, it's like their ability with giraffe money to hold these secrets. They're like the freaking Illuminati. Like, they are doing back alley deals like nobody's business, and then before you even know it, you got the DVD and a controller in each hand, both with the Disney stamp of approval on there, like, you just bought this and you didn't know, Like, this stuff is going down.
So wait, hey, come to think of it, that new Disney model game that's like...
Infinity?
Yeah, Disney Infinity. Star Wars characters?
I didn't even think about that. Well, because they have two options on that. They can either do, little mini Han Solo, mini Luke figures, or, like, Mickey dressed up as, a rebel pilot, or Minnie as Princess Leia.
If you go to Disneyland, they kind of have it near the Star Tours ride. They have some characters dressed in Jedi robes and stuff. In fact, I think Goofy is often dressed as a dopey Darth Vader in some pieces of art.
For some reason, I remember him as being, like, dressed as Han Solo.
I don't rightly remember, but in any case,
because he's already wearing the vest, I'm probably just superimposing that on him.
I think that's what's happening. In any case, I think we've rambled on about this topic far long enough.
Yeah, please, I guess.
Enlighten me with your knowledge that I have no knowledge on.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and move on to the second topic. Now, I know this is going to be hard for you, but I will do my best to try and get us both in on the conversation.
Alright, because currently I'm not in on this conversation.
Okay, so, Doctor Who...
La la la.
For those of you tuning in who didn't know this, I am a fan. Kaylin is not.
Not really. No, I've watched First Doctor, a majority of First Doctor, and like that's it. And there was a time that like we went to this Doctor Who night down at the Alamo Draft House, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's River's song. Oh, we know everything about what's going on." And I'm like, "You guys want to let me in on the joke?" Like,
yeah, I admit that was a bad time to bring you in.
I was miserable.
For anybody who knows,
really unhappy.
For anybody who knows what I'm talking about, we did go to this Doctor Who appreciation night at a local theater, and some of you will know what I'm talking about. She came in on Forest of the Dead, so she had no idea what was going on.
And, those of you who have seen, that's a big, funny way of putting it, that's a big spoiler part to come in on. But, getting past that, just this week they started, filming, and doing read-throughs for the 50th anniversary for Doctor Who. And, of course, the biggest news that anybody's got to go off right now is that the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, and Billie Piper, who played Rose Tyler, have signed on, and they're back reprising these roles, which, of course, is, at least for me, awesome, because, granted, I'll give you some background on this. I came in with Matt Smith. I actually started when his run started, and I liked his Doctor. I still kind of like his Doctor. But then, I went back, through 8, 9, and then I got to 10, and it was just, there was no room for comparison. The portrayal that David Tennant had as the Doctor was nothing short of incredible. And I'm not saying that in terms of sci-fi, I'm saying strictly as an actor. This man brought a richness to the role that comes from, years and years of training, Shakespearean acting and all that.
You have to at least understand from my perspective, because everybody, their mom and their dog, because I've seen their dogs do it, has become fans of David Tennant specifically. All I hear when I hear fandom of David Tennant is, David Tennant is the best, drooling fanboyism. And so you will have to, at some point, sure, for the hell of it, I will sit through all the way up to that point and beyond, and I will probably understand then, but until then,
I understand.
Everything I ever see at cons and at those Who nights is drooling fanboyism.
I understand that, and it's the same for just about any fandom that has a mass number of people in it. I reference the same thing as, like, say, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Some people do like it who aren't these people running around with the shirt, the fedora, the buttons, the figures, and
but still wearing jeans.
And still wearing jeans, yes, and putting it all up in your face like, "Ooh, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow!" And I understand how that would be off-putting if you actually want to talk to somebody about, hey, there's this thing, it's a remake of an older thing, but it's pretty cool, you should watch it. There's some funny stuff in that. Most people
that conversation doesn't ever happen.
No, it doesn't, because it's always, "Ooh, Applejack, yeah!" Yeah, and I understand that.
That's a pony, not a doctor.
No, well, now they have that friggin' Doctor Hooves, and that's, like, I might alienate some people.
You're probably going to alienate people right here.
That's not, no, let the Doctor be the Doctor, let a pony be a pony. I will say that much. Moving on. So yeah, we've got this 50th anniversary special that they're working on, and it's kind of interesting, because we're talking, half a century here that this show has been on the air. That is an accomplishment. Now, well, not a full 50 years, because there was a break, in the 90s where, the show just wasn't on the air going into the 2000s. But still, the character remains, at least for sure in Britain, in the public conscious, It's interesting when you go back and watch something like Rugrats, and you look in the background of one of the episodes, behind Chucky in specific, and you see a Dalek on the shelf behind Chucky. Like, it's in there. It's crossed the ocean, even more so now that BBC America is showing it. And now, since we have, the ability with Netflix and, audiobooks and things like that, you have this rich history of 50 years, but only to hear that 2 cast members from a former show are coming back.
And only the most recent one.
And only the most recent one, right before Matt Smith. That's a little weird to me, because right before, and I guess I'm explaining this to you and to some people in the audience, right before David Tennant left, there was a set of episodes where everybody who had been there from the beginning of the 2005 run to right then at that episode came back, and, like, all of these people, Donna, Captain Jack, Mickey, the parents, everybody, all these people, just all these side characters, people that you got to know over the course of years, came back, and it was this great arc. And there was great writing. Everybody had their moment. Yes, Sarah Jane, people are, how could I forget Sarah Jane in that? An older assistant companion came back, and that was very well done, and that wasn't even an anniversary episode. Meanwhile, we've got this 50th episode, 50th anniversary special coming up, and you've only got 2. Where is everybody?
I can see that. Well, maybe they're saving something
Possibly
for viewership rather than just giving it all away in a commercial.
Well, that I would hope so. And the thing about that is, we have other anniversaries to compare this to. You with Final Fantasy, what was 9 was an anniversary, was it not?
No, it was not. It was just really friggin' special that Final Fantasy had gone through a full 3 platforms of gaming by the time 9 came up. Whenever I bring up 9 to you, I'm always saying that 9 fulfills what an anniversary of Final Fantasy should be, because we're at the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy right now. Only halfway to the point of your precious Doctor Who. But,
it's alright.
And their anniversary blows. Their anniversary is like, hey, happy anniversary, here's a touchpad game.
Yeah.
Or, hey, we're re-releasing all the older Final Fantasies. Oh, that's cool. It's in one really big, overly expensive box. It's Japan only, and all the versions that we're giving you are all the really not so great versions, like the ones that had PlayStation 1 versions. Those are the versions you're gonna get, which are the worst versions of those games. And no,
I understand.
Really a good anniversary would have been, hey, actually release Final Fantasy 15 this year, and make it play like Final Fantasy 9 did, because Final Fantasy 9 was a tribute to everything that Final Fantasy was in the past.
And really, that's what you look for in an anniversary, is that there is a tribute to everything that came before it. I think, to a certain extent, with Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, with the most recent anniversaries, 35th anniversary, 40th anniversary, they did those things. They brought back all these characters, or at least, in suit, all these people that over the course of years would come to know and recognize. They do their signature thing. They reference, hey, this is what we're about, this is what we've done, and this is what we're going to keep doing. And there's a heart for that in the fan community for each of these shows. And there's definitely a heart, or I'll make the joke, 2 hearts for that in Doctor Who. So where's that at, is all I'm asking. Because they've got enough to go off in that. It'd be nice to see that. Because all I've seen is one Doctor coming back and one old villain. Where's everybody else? There were more people showing up at the end, with the Pandorica episodes of Matt Smith, at the end of his first season, more monsters showing up in that episode than I hear announced in this.
Maybe there'll be some kind of flashy editing with flashbacks to previous series. I know it's kind of a cop-out.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a cop-out.
I can't help you with your fandom. I can't. I don't know how to comfort you in your time of need.
Well, it's not even really a matter of comfort. I'm just saying, at the least, I want to hear some stuff about, Captain Jack coming back, about, Donna coming back, if they could make that work. Just certain characters in specific that I came to know and love. And it would make sense because, a lot of fans like those characters too. Really, I don't see as much effort being put in, is what I'm saying.
I can understand. I do understand that from a fandom and anniversary perspective.
Right.
I get that, despite my lack of knowledge of the series.
Even for, you say 9 played like like an anniversary should. What about something like Dissidia, where you had characters from all across the games come back? Or at least come together for something. That's the kind of thing you would expect.
What are they coming together for? There's this really shallow reason, we're coming to defeat chaos or whatever. And then, like, I showed you parts of Dissidia, and the characters are asking each other, so, why are you doing this? And the other goes, I don't really know. And they're just there because yes, and that,
we're here because reasons.
It is nothing but fan service, and I feel like an anniversary should be fan service, yes, but not stupid. Like,
I can agree with that.
I know that's a really shallow way of phrasing it. Let me see if I can put it a little bit better. There should be fan service, but it should have a point, it should have reason, it should make you feel like, oh, I was so attached to these characters, it's giving me further reason to remain attached to these characters. This feels bittersweet. There's nothing bittersweet about the Dissidia series. It's just, ooh, I like these characters and I can change their clothes.
I guess in that respect, that's how I felt about Superhero Wars, where you had all these characters show up from these two franchises, but there was no reason for them to be there. It was pure flash.
Yeah.
And then it makes me question the next one when they're adding more characters.
And how do you make them sentimental when there's that many characters to shove in? I suppose if you're to think of it that way, if they were to shove in that many doctors, how sentimental can you get with them?
Well,
that many previous characters.
I guess when you phrase it that way, yeah, that's a good way of putting it, because there's got to be a way to do that, because we've had cases where 3 doctors met up, we've had cases where 5 doctors met up. Here, really, it's a matter of who's still alive, I guess, to a certain extent, because certainly someone like Tom Baker has aged quite a bit. If you've seen any recent pictures of him, the guy's old now.
Well, think of it this way. Maybe this will bring you comfort. Perhaps the dialogue will be so well written about things that have been seen by this person, and experiences he has had over the past 50 years on television, and obviously time is much more than 50 years.
Right,
but I think what you have to hope for now is writing rather than a bunch of cameos for the sake of yay, fan service!
I will agree with that. If there's something that I found a little bit iffy, and that's a whole other thing, and I'll stop there before I go into it. As far as I know, Moffat's not writing this, and that makes me feel better. And I will leave it at that.
I've heard you complain about it enough, and I have no idea what you're talking about. It's old to me now.
Yeah, so I'm not even gonna worry about that. But yes, I am looking forward to it. I hope for more announcements of more casts showing up, and a really good script.
Who did write the script that's being asked of you? Do you know who wrote the script?
I had it here a second ago. It is being written, or it has been written, by a person who is not Stephen Moffat. It is...
And this was on BBC America's
Yes, it was on
page.
BBC America. Where is it?
You know what? We'll get that answer later.
Yeah, you guys can look that up. Important thing, it's not pure Moffat.
This person says it's
Alan Smithy. Okay, good. Not Moffat. Excellent.
Anyway, yes.
Yes, so that'll cover my topic.
And, so we were talking about April Fool's jokes, too. That was...
Oh yeah, that's the thing we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
April Fools.
Yeah, so that happened this week, like 4 days ago.
Yeah, so, the internet is a place for April Fools to happen to everyone.
I try to stay away from the internet on April 1st, usually.
It's not so much a matter of whether or not you celebrate it, it's a matter of if you can get away without getting tricked, more or less, nowadays. But
I think I managed to accomplish it this time.
No, I managed to accidentally get tricked a few times. But aside from that, nowadays, it's gotten to a point where April Fools is a good time to show off your nerdery. Because there's a couple of good pranks out there.
So, I actually was really disappointed in Blizzard. Because I'm so used to Blizzard giving off really, really well done April Fool's jokes. One of my favorites was StarCraft 2 for Connect.
Mm-hmm.
There was everything that Blizzard did was just really subtle this year.
Yeah.
But one of my favorites was Minecraft 2 or 2.0, where it was like nothing but super hyper. I forget what mode it was they added in, but it was like every minute or so, lightning strikes, and every monster ever comes and swarms you, which was pretty amazing.
Oh yes, they're mentioning Assassin's Creed for Connect. I was on the floor with that one initially.
And that was last year, though, wasn't it?
I believe that was last year, or either that or the year before. But just doing the leap of faith
yeah.
onto the coffee table, that was good. ThinkGeek had a couple of cool products.
What products did they have?
They had these little decals, like you know how you see some like minivans or SUVs. They've got like a mom sticker, a dad sticker, and little kid stickers.
Yeah.
What this one had was 2 tombstone stickers, grave markers, and then Batman. Like this is the Bat family, and that's
a little depressing.
It's a little depressing, but it's accurate for him.
Could you really buy it? No.
I would want to, but somebody would get offended. Well, then again, how would you get offended unless you knew what the joke was?
That doesn't answer my question. Could you really buy it? No? You don't know.
Well, no,
do you?
I don't know. I didn't actually try to purchase said items.
The answer is you don't know.
I don't know.
But speaking of Batman, there was an Arkham Asylum.
Oh yeah, the Arkham City supposed
hidden secret to access the
Sunsoft
NES Batman game within the game by just having it sit there for between 6 and 8 hours, or 3 to 6 hours.
And you don't have detective vision on at all. And I was mad when I saw that because I'm like, no, I beat that game already. I don't need to go back and have to play it again because, you know, I'm addicted to trying to beat the Sunsoft game. Because to this day, I have not beaten the Sunsoft game. And, like, every couple of months, like every 6 to 8 months, I'm like...
We beat that Sunsoft Game Boy version a couple years back.
Yeah, that wasn't so bad. That had awesome music, though.
Sure did.
Like
I still have that as a ringtone sitting around somewhere.
Yeah.
Seriously, go look up Sunsoft's Batman soundtrack.
For the Game Boy. For the Game Boy.
For some reason, it's amazing. Pardon my coughing.
And then, what other jokes were there?
What was that one for Journey?
Oh, yes, Journey, put out this, of course, fake, promo for their Rocket Death DLC pack.
So it's, like, player versus player, first-person shooting style.
And to me, it just reminds me of, like, Quake 3 Arena.
Yeah, but it's not nearly as many options because it's just a bunch of hopping up and down, forward and backwards. I know that there was another one that I thought was really good. What did I showed you something that day. Do you remember? I'm gonna look up this list one more time.
Yeah, look up this list real quick and we'll see what we can find. Oh, there was the Google Maps one, and it's not necessarily nerdy, but it's at least something everybody would know, is that, if you looked on Google Maps a few days ago, and you just happened to be looking at Korea, and if you zoom in close enough to the Gangnam section of, I forget which city, is it Seoul?
It's in Seoul, yeah.
If you zoom in close enough, there's Psy, you know, doing the little horsey ride pose, superimposed there on the map.
Google had, a few different...
Oh, the Japanese Google.
Japanese Google had this really weird Japanese, text input thing, where, they slowly start to introduce, a means of typing in kanji and getting kanji, and they're like, oh, it's just too hard, so then we tried to have a different key for every single kanji, and that was just too ridiculous. Well, now we have, like, these flip glasses to spell out every letter, and you have to push this button to stop it right at the letter that you want. So it's like this really long,
arduous
process.
And they had one for, one for kanji, one for kana, and then one for just
Alphabet? Romanized alphabet?
Well, no, I think they had one too. One for Romanized alphabet and one for, the faces that you can only make with Japanese characters.
Emoticons?
Yeah, the emoticon one.
That was pretty ridiculous. Whatever this Apple iPlay thing was,
the commercial for the Apple iPlay, which is pretty much just a console.
It wanted to be a gaming console, but the only video game that you could purchase for it was Angry Birds. And every single version of Angry Birds. I mean, if you were going to come up with an April Fool's joke, is there an April Fool's joke you always wanted to do?
I don't know about one I always wanted to do. If I'm not mistaken, one that I'm sad I missed was apparently Nickelodeon. Oh yeah, they're bringing it up right now. I was about to talk about it. The lost episode of the Wacky Deli episode of Rocko's Modern Life that they talk about in show, where it's just a jar of mayonnaise and like Muzak playing in the background, and it's just that for 30 minutes. They joke that happens in an episode, but Nickelodeon actually did that. Left this jar of mayonnaise picture on screen for 30 minutes, and if I had been there, I would have just been like...
You know, that's also reminiscent of a few MagFests back. And this was before I took you the first year. But we stayed in a room where for some reason there was...
Oh, is this where the wood?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There was just one station that played nothing but a wood wall. The entire 4-day weekend, it was just this one shot of a wall. And we dubbed it the Wood Channel, cause it never moved. In fact, if you go to YouTube and you look up the short movie called Curb Stomp, and that's spelled with a K, cause it's short for Curbifer, the Flash animator that we filmed with. I am in a frame of that where we talk about the Wood Channel. You'll see what I'm talking about, cause we filmed this shot where it was nothing but all wood all the time. And that's what this non-stop jar of mayo reminds me of.
Yes.
4 days straight of wood paneling.
That would be awesome if that had been done on purpose.
I don't think it was, unfortunately.
Well, that's sad. Of course, man, you guys are reading my mind over here. Nothing tops Toonami.
Last year's
Toonami, nothing tops that. I not in my mind, I don't think.
Does anybody know what Cartoon Network did this year, a few days ago? Because they got so used to doing The Room over and over again, to the point where even that got April Fool's out for Toonami.
Right.
Somebody will tell me now, because somebody said yes.
They put Cats on the live action on Adult Swim.
That sounds like normal Adult Swim to me.
Yeah, but it's the thing now. You do Toonami, and then there's this whole wave of a chain of events afterwards that gets Toonami back on the air. You can't really top that.
I know.
I mean, short of, say, just going off the top of my head, bringing Weird Al's old CBS show back on the air for Adult Swim. Really, I don't see how they could go further than that.
Or, what was Martin Short's character?
Oh, Ed Grimley?
Ed Grimley. Maybe his animated series that he had for a second.
Well, no, it's on DVD now.
It's on DVD?
Yeah, it came out 2 months ago or something.
Oh, I need it.
Yeah, but it's I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, it's Hanna-Barbera who put it out, so, it costs an arm and a leg, same as, SWAT Cats.
Oh, yeah.
So that kind of
Hanna-Barbera's been weird about DVD releases. In fact, most of their stuff is, only accessible on their website for some dumb reason.
Yeah, I don't even know why they would do that.
I don't know either. It's not really April Fool's related, though.
No.
In fact, all we can really do is, read through a list of April Fool's stuff. I'm certain I was missing something that I thought was really funny, and I'm certain I showed you.
You probably did. I just can't remember either.
Well, now I'm really frustrated because this is a show, Josh.
I know this is a show. What am I doing? I'm trying to keep the banter up.
I don't think
because that's what we do.
don't think I can keep it up for much longer.
All
I
right.
don't think my throat can keep it up for much longer, to be honest with you.
Unfortunately.
Should we cut it short?
Well, I guess that, give the people a little, there was Google Smell.
Oh, I didn't see Google Smell.
Yeah, that was another, making fun of Google Glass, they had Google Smell. Being able to research by smell. I don't see how, that's of course what makes it the April Fool's joke. I don't see how that could be utilized in everyday life. Because, we've been talking about
That's the joke.
That's the joke. Because it's like, people have been saying, oh, we're gonna have smell of it. Oh, how did we miss that? That's what it was. Your favorite from this year.
The Darkwing Duck movie.
The Darkwing Duck movie. Everybody watching, you should have seen her face, because I saw it first, and then I sent it to her, and the look of sheer enjoyment on her face when she saw this. I haven't seen this since the last time she saw a big pile of bacon. Like, this was amazing. And saddening at the same time, because this was a joke.
Yeah, but then, on the other hand, it feels like Jim Cummings is getting the recognition that he deserves, not just his characters,
Yeah. I would think more often than not lately he's starting to do a bit more press, and you're starting to recognize more than just, hey, you know what? Darkwing Duck and Pete kind of sound alike. But now it's like, no, here's this guy, and he's not just, these few Disney characters, he's also this guy, that guy, he's Thanos in a Superhero Squad show, he does all these voiceovers, in a world where, the movie voice guy.
He is now the new movie voice guy, basically. In fact, we heard him do that voice in a car commercial just the other day.
Only to be kicked out by the dude, Jeff Bridges, who actually does, is it Mazda? I want to say it's Mazda.
But then the fact that, this joke, it's done by Funny or Die. Specifically, it's Kickstart or Die that they have a specific section for. Jim is trying to say, yep, I've done this Darkwing Duck movie. By the way, I did it all myself. So he has poorly animated it. And he has none of the other voice acting cast from the rest of Darkwing Duck. So he just replaces all the characters' voices with other voices that he has done for other characters throughout the years.
Seriously, you guys should have seen her face when Pooh came out of Launchpad's mouth. You know what I mean, when Pooh's voice comes out of Launchpad's mouth. Let me be more specific about that. What is it? Goslin is
the Tasmanian Devil.
Is the Tasmanian Devil. And then he can't remember what Negaduck sounds like.
Which
is
just Darkwing Duck, except a little
meaner.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I would like that movie. I miss Darkwing Duck.
I do too.
Did Disney ever finish putting out the DVDs?
Disney does not like finishing their DVD releases. I don't think they ever finished releasing all of Gargoyles. They didn't. They get 2/3 of all their Disney animated shows out on DVD, and then they stop.
Because we got season 1, season 2 of Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers,
and season 1, season 2 of Darkwing Duck,
and Tailspin,
and they just stop.
They haven't even gotten to the Mighty Ducks. Ducks rock.
You're just repeating the intro.
Yes, I am, because the intro was not that hard to come up with.
Here come the Mighty Ducks, burning up the eyes. I'm done.
Yeah,
I can't sing right now.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I think I need to stop.
Are you all right?
I'm not so great, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, on the grounds of being a little under the weather, we're going to go ahead and stop there for the night.
We'll keep talking to the people in the chat, and I hope you'll forgive my dry throat.
Yes.
I'm kind of dying. Maybe
Don't die.
You can close us out.
Okay. Well, while Kaylin tries not to die, I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. It's nice to see so many of you out here in the chat. We'll probably do this again at another stopping point, maybe episode 20, 25, something like that. But for the same time, we'll be back again next week with 3 new topics. In the meantime,
But not live.
But not live.
I'm sorry. Maybe in another 10 episodes.
at least.
At least.
Remember, you guys, we have our Facebook fan pages, and you can always follow us on Twitter. I'm at Josh Knight First.
I'm at MarsGirlProd.
And, yeah, that's gonna do it for this week. So, until then, I'm Josh Knight the First.
I'm MarsGirl.
And, that was Beyond the Black Rims, episode 10. We'll see you next week.
Take care, guys.